So, people started crossing me at a really young age. I don't know why though. But I think we're today, like, I just like to look at, like, the evolution of reality and things like that. So, I don't think you can just say, boom, there's no such thing as crossing people, you know? I think, you cross me, you actually fucking cross me. A lot of people really fucking cross me. And, I think people would like to get to a point in reality where there's no such thing as like crossing others. But there is. And I think really what it is that they don't want, for some reason, I honestly feel like something happens when you cross someone. Like, I honestly feel that way. And I only think that because it's like this evolution of like crossing me or whatever. It's like it's you, because you really can't take that away. What you can try to do is have it be so I didn't cross you, and the only way that can really be is if I have no self-respect, in my opinion. Like, other people might see it otherwise, like, well, how do you fucking cross Scarface or whatever it is? It's like, you'd have to ask Scarface. But for like the average moral individual who has self-respect, like, you can definitely cross someone. And I think that really what's going on these days is that for some reason it's like they don't want me to have self-respect. They're still crossing me, but why do they care so much about how I feel about it? That's what, because they obviously care so much about how I feel about it because they are doing it and they're not wanting me to care that they're doing it, which means I would have no self-respect. I find that to be very, very interesting. Like, that's super, super, super duper in depth. It's like, I think the first step would say, okay, start with what you know. It's like, okay, well, imagine when they started crossing me, say when I was like 10, we'll just say 10. How would things have been different had I not had self respect? Because, like, that's the only way you're identifying that someone's crossing you is by your, like, it wouldn't really be the same thing if I had no self respect. Like, how it feels and stuff like that is only because of my self respect. I think that's so weird. So, like, if I didn't have any self respect at 10 and these people would be doing it, what would it be like? So, like, take me and then take a delinquent, for instance. Like, take a juvenile delinquent, a guy that doesn't shower, that's delinquent, whatever it is. Do you really think the same individuals that were crossing me would do that to this other individual? Because you could say this other person doesn't have self-respect. It's like, no, because why would you beat somebody that's already down? People don't want to waste their time and their energy. Why would you beat somebody that's already down? People started crossing me at such a young age to try to beat me down. And to see how I felt and to see how I fucking reacted and shit. And it's like basically the same thing. Like, you can pick up on people's energy, they cross you in different ways. It's basically just like being super fucking rude. Really. But nowadays, like, a lot of it's perversion and shit like that, which is something really new. Like, really, really new because, you know, people get fucking fired for that shit. But I just think it's very, like, very, 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 like, crazy because um they couldn't do that type of stuff like when I was growing up. But like now, I guess some of the guys or whatever, and I think they pretty much make sure that it's always somebody like obviously of the opposite sex and somebody kind of similar in my age, because like I guess God maybe put in laws or whatever, like, you know, this can't get violent because we're already like over our limits in a sense of like this is like severe bullying, basically. Like this is severe bullying, and like it's gonna get violent, so we're not gonna have like older stronger men do it, because then she's like she can't go outside then because whatever, like, and how's she gonna prove this because we're already pretending that this isn't real. So anyways, I think it's funny because I don't know if they feel like I emasculate them or whatever it is. Like I don't really know what's going on inside of them. But for some of the times that they've done it or whatever, I guess like it's kind of funny because I am very youthful in how I like handle things. Like I just am. Like I think that's really funny is that how like youthful I am and how I deal with things. And so some of the times that this has happened or whatever, it's almost like I am just like a super smart aleck. And they don't really know how to deal with smart alecks because really like you would be spanked for that at your house. I would. Like if I like I was never a smart aleck to teachers or anything like that, but these people can't spank me though. So it's like, okay, so how do you deal? Like that's how dumb they are because this is serious. How how are you can't spank me. So how are you gonna deal with a smart aleck? Because obviously the person's reacting. You don't just I don't even know if it's possible to be a smart aleck without it being a reaction. Like how do you just be a smart aleck without somebody doing something first? Like how do you be the first one to be a smart aleck? It's like really hard because it doesn't make any sense. So it's like some of these motherfuckers that be crossing me in a perverted way. A few times I've dealt with it in a very smart alecky kind of way. And if you know anything about smart alecky, it's the reaction to the first instance. So when you want to know smart alecky, it's going to be in a perverted sexual thing because the first instance was a crossing me in a perverted sexual thing. So if I'm able to be a smart aleck to that, which goes back to you being spanked and hit with the belt or whatever what happened to you, how are you going to deal with that without a belt? And I think a lot of the people want to think. You're back. Hi.
Hey.
So like a lot of people want to think that, oh, this reaction is a lack of self-respect, which is what we've been hoping for since she was 10. But it's like you have to understand what smart aleck is. Smart aleck isn't a display of no self-respect. It's really interesting when a lot of people have never thought of it like this. And that's really what it is. And this stuff's very important to them, by the way. Like, very important to them. Like, to a God level of importance. So it's kind of funny. Because this is so fucking funny, I'm not even lying to you. I guess the whole smart alecky thing, which a lot of people don't have, but for me, I have that. Like, hit me. Like, fucking hit me. It's in your face, hit me. So it's like, but these people can't fucking belt me. So it's like, but that's what the smart alecky is, though. And it's a reaction to the first instance, whatever that is. It's very, very, very in-depth. And it's definitely not a lack of self-respect. It's actually a showing of self-respect, which is why the third reaction wants to go to violence. Because the first instance is to get me to have no self-respect. So I shoot up like 0 to 100 real quick. Like, that's basically me. Like, the one, I can pinpoint what these motherfuckers want so fucking fast. I go 0 to 100 real quick to where violence occurs. And actually, I have proof, look back at it a million times, where I've been hit in these instances to protect and to stand behind death before dishonor of myself. And I just think it's very funny that I don't think a lot of people realize that when they're fucking approaching me with this stuff. I don't think a lot of them get it. Because they really think that it's how my smart alecky is what they want. This is a lack of self-respect. And it's like, no. It's actually not even, it's more than the opposite. Because I don't think there's an inverse equal to that. It's more than the opposite. You have no idea how much I just spun your head around. And that's why the person that raised me is probably the smartest person in the world. You don't know 0 to 100 real quick until you've dealt with the motherfucking 5-year-old like me. You just haven't.